Okay team, so this video is coming 6 months later than I had originally planned, but we're here now and I wanted to give you a few tips on what it's like to rent in Vancouver and then dive into a room tour of my old apartment and a little bit of insight into what it was like to move. Let's go, Rachel! I haven't done a sit-down video in a long time, but I thought it could be valuable to start out with some renting tips for people who have never rented before, and then I'll dive into the vlog portion of the video in the next part. The first thing that I would recommend you do is figure out what your priorities are. And I kind of relate it to that Tumblr triangle that says you can only have 2 out of 3 factors: grades, a social life, and sleep. And for renting, this would be, for me at least, budget, location, and newness or modernness of the space. Obviously, this is a little bit of an oversimplification, but it's true that, especially in the Vancouver housing market, it's really hard to get all of the things that you're looking for. So it's really important to know what your priorities are. These factors will also have different layers to them, like, do you want a roommate, and do you have a car, or is walkability something that's really important for you? Do you care about how big the space is? Is natural lighting something that you must have? All of these pieces interplay with one another, so again, it's just important that you know what the most important factors for you are. Once you have that, you can start looking at the different websites like 𝘁𝗶𝗺𝗀𝗀 and Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace. Those are the 3 that I found to be the most useful, and I would recommend setting up a spreadsheet to help track all of your information and also track which places you've reached out to and which ones you've viewed. Once you start reaching out to set up viewings, I would recommend calling them, because this can help you stand out as a candidate when a lot of people will just be sending really generic emails. Once you're in the space, I would recommend coming with a list of questions that you want to ask the landlords. You should really treat your viewings kind of like a job interview, in that it's not just for them to get to know you, but for you to understand the space and their expectations of you as potential tenants. You should also come with a list of features that you want to look at and make sure that you double check. So how many outlets are in the space? What's the lighting like? For me, bathrooms are really important, so I really check the corners and things for mold and water pressure as well. So it's really important to come prepared to these viewings, knowing what you want to take away from them. The last resource that I'll point you to is Renting It Right. This is a free online course that helps outline what your rights are as a tenant. You know how much deposit landlords are allowed to ask from you, when they're able to raise rent and by how much. And you also can get a certificate to attach to your application to demonstrate how you're a responsible tenant. So it's an easy to understand free resource, and I would totally recommend it. Okay, so hopefully you found some of these tips useful, or if they were redundant, thanks for sticking around. But let's dive into the vlog now. So I moved in with Liv and Noelle after I graduated, and this was a really monumental step for me, because it was not only the first time I moved off campus since coming to Vancouver, but also it felt like a really big step deeper into the adult world. On the one hand, I was becoming more independent, I bought my own furniture, I got my first full-time job, but on the other hand, I was learning what it was like to live with roommates for the first time, and I was connecting with friends more because of Zoom and COVID rather than the opposite. And I think making this vlog after moving out has made me that much more nostalgic, but really this place does have a lot of big memories for me, and I'm really thankful to have this footage for me to look back on years from now. Staring out the window. So let's dive into the apartment tour. When you first walked in, there was our living room and dining room, which opened into our kitchen, and my one tip for living in a small apartment like this is to get shelves and use your vertical space. I think Noelle and Liv did a fantastic job decorating, and that brings me to my second tip, which is to get plants, real or fake. And the one room that I think is a major deal breaker for me if it's bad is the bathroom, and luckily I really liked ours because of how clean and bright it was. Every other day I remember to close the rice bag.
It's only when I notice.
It's true! And of course I need to give you a quick room tour as well. So after you walk through the little narrow hallway, it opens up into the full space, and one of my favorite parts about decorating my room is when I get the fairy lights up. It usually is one of the last things that I do, and it just makes me so happy. My room didn't actually come with a closet, which is why I had to have a wardrobe, but I ended up really liking how the mirror doors made the space feel bigger. And even though this desk looks like it's for 2 people, it really was just for me, although it didn't hurt to have the extra space and chair when I would have friends over. And to help create a sense of work-life balance, I set up the curtain using just command hooks and a rod from IKEA so that I could close off my bed when I went to work in the morning. So this is Noelle's room.
It's kind of staked. No more photos.
Sad. Isn't it cute? We're starting to pack everything up. We move in less than a week, and it's really sad actually.
This place has been really cute and nice and homey.
All's well that ends well, but looking back on the move, I remember being super stressed. Not only was I sad to be leaving this space, but just logistically, finding a new, nice, affordable apartment located in Vancouver is always something really tricky to do. But once we did that, just packing and transporting everything was its own exhausting saga. I think this was my most stressful move because I had to deal with disassembling, selling, and/or moving furniture for the first time.
We just packed up half of the kitchen. Maria's wardrobe is fully disassembled, and I am tired.
We're heading to our new place. Noelle and 𝘁𝗏 loaded 𝘁𝗏's truck.
For our first load, pretty good.
It's so geometrically perfect. Thankfully, we were actually able to get the keys to our new place a couple days early, so we were able to gradually move some of our smaller things in, and then we saved our furniture and the rest of our stuff for our official move-out day. One night, Noelle and I ended up using an 𝗃𝗏 to do a bunch of trips, and it was really exhausting, and even with all of the pre-moving day moving that we did, we were still worried we might not be able to clear everything out on time. Move-out day!
We're almost done!
On our actual move-out day, we woke up bright and early to make sure we would have enough time to get everything loaded into the vehicles, make multiple trips, and also still have time to clean the apartment before giving our keys back to our landlords at 2 p.m. My next random tip is to have lots of people come help or hire movers, because you should not underestimate how helpful it is to have more bodies when it comes to moving. So we literally could not have done it without the insane amount of help we got from our friends. We appreciate you all so, so much. You don't even know.
Shout out to Dom for helping us move in this beautiful silver van.
This move was stressful, not just on the day, but also in the months leading up to it. So thank you to my friends and family for their love and support and for putting up with leftover Maria. I love you so much.
We're all moved out. We're saying goodbye now. She is ready. We're done. Goodbye, Monday. Goodbye, Monday.
Thank you so much for watching, and Rachel will see you in the next video.